I used to think my entire world was based on how happy I made everyone else. I'd say yes when I was screaming no on the inside, and I'd literally shrink to make other people feel bigger. I was a classic people pleaser, and I was losing myself. What if I told you one key to breaking free was hiding in the deck of tarot cards? In this video, I'm sharing how a few specific tarot cards held up a mirror and showed me the exact patterns I needed to break to find my real self. Are you always trying to keep everyone happy, even if it means you get lost in the shuffle? If that's you, I feel you. I lived that way for years. My whole world felt like a play, where I was supposed to make sure that every other actor would feel well in their part. My own needs, my own script, that always came second. And this wasn't just about being nice. It was a deep, compulsive need for everyone to like me. My self-worth was totally tied up in what other people thought. If you were happy with me, I could be happy with myself. If you were disappointed, it felt like the end of the world. I was a chameleon, changing my colors for everyone who I was with. And because of that, I basically became invisible. I had no idea who I was without someone else's approval. And there's actually a psychological reason for this. It's often called the fawn response to trauma. It's a survival skill, usually learned from childhood, where we learn just to appease everyone to avoid conflict or feeling rejected. We figure out that our safety comes from keeping everyone else happy. This can lead to what's called a false self, a personality we've built just for show, to get that approval, while our true, authentic self stays hidden away. For me, this felt like a huge wave of guilt every time I tried to say no. It meant agreeing to plans I had zero energy for. It meant biting my tongue when I disagreed with something just to keep things smooth. It was this constant buzzing anxiety that I was just one wrong move away from totally being rejected. It was exhausting, and I had no clue how to get off this hamster wheel. So, how do you even start to untangle a knot that's been tightening your whole life? For me, the answer came from a place I really didn't expect. I'd always been curious about tarot, but in the beginning I thought it was just for telling the future. I never realized that real power was in seeing the present. I learned that tarot isn't so much about fortune telling as it is about truth telling. The cards are like a mirror for your subconscious mind, a language of symbols for the parts of us that we don't have words for. My big aha moment didn't come from a gentle, sweet card. It came from one most people are afraid of. The devil. The first time I pulled it for a reading to find out why I was being unhappy, my stomach just dropped. But when I really looked at it, I didn't see some scary evil force. I saw me. The card shows those two figures that have chains around their necks, but the chains are so loose that they could lift them off and just walk away. But they don't. They've gotten used to being stuck. That was me, chained to needing everyone to like me. I was a volunteer in my own prison, telling myself I had no other choice. The devil card shows you the patterns, the old habits, and the limiting beliefs that keep you feeling trapped. And people-pleasing at its worst is an addiction to getting that validation from others. Seeing the devil card wasn't scary, it was freeing. It gave a name and a face to the invisible cage I had built all around myself. This was one of my first real steps into what is called shadow work. The process of looking at the parts of ourselves we've pushed down or denied. It's about bringing those hidden things into the light, not to judge them, but to understand them. The devil showed me my shadow, and for the first time, I didn't try to run away. I actually got curious. And the more I used the cards, the more I saw the archetypes or universal patterns that were feeding my people-pleasing habit. First, and this one was a big one for me, was the martyr archetype. The martyr is all about approval and being terrified of rejection. They sacrifice what they need because they think that their value comes from what they do for other people. This was the part of me that would take on extra work I didn't have the time for, just so that people would think that I was helpful. It was the part that felt this weird pride in being exhausted, like it was a proof of my worth. But under all this pride, I was starting to feel really resentful, like nobody saw me for who I actually was. And then there was the hero or fixer archetype. This is the part that feels responsible for everyone else's happiness. The fixer thinks that they have to be there to help everyone, jumping in to save the day, even if nobody asked. I saw this in my friendships where I had basically become a non-paid therapist, soaking up everyone's drama, trying to fix everybody else. I thought it was my job to fix their pain. I was so busy trying to be the hero in their stories that I had completely forgotten about my own. Seeing these patterns as archetypes, instead of just fatal flaws in my personality, was a total game changer. They weren't me. They were just roles I was playing, costumes I put on to feel safe. And if I put them on, that meant I could take them off too. Do you see a little bit of the fixer or the martyr in yourself? Let me know in the comments. It's so powerful to realize that we are not alone in this. And if this is hitting home, hit that subscribe button, because we're about to shift from the problem to the solution and talk about the archetypes that help you find the way back to yourself. So once tarot showed me the roles that kept me stuck, it also showed me the roles that would set me free and introduced me to a whole cast of new characters I could step into. Characters that were about self-respect and power. First, and maybe most important, is the Emperor. If the people pleaser has zero boundaries, the Emperor is the master of them. This card is about structure, stability, and knowing that you have the right to take up space. For so long, I thought boundaries were walls I was building up to push people away. The Emperor taught me that boundaries aren't walls at all. They are the foundation of a healthy you. They are just the clear line where you end and another person begins. The Emperor gave me the permission to say no without feeling bad about it. Not because I was being cold, but because I was respecting my own energy. He taught me that I am the only authority in my own life. Next up was the Strength card. For years, I thought strength meant being able to handle everything and to carry everyone else's problems. The Strength card completely flipped my idea of what strength really was. It shows a woman gently closing a lion's mouth. She isn't overpowering the lion. She's taming it with compassion and quiet confidence. This archetype showed me that real strength is about being gentle with yourself, having emotional courage, and standing in your power instead of constantly running on empty. And finally, there was the High Priestess. She's the guardian of your inner wisdom and intuition. People-pleasing had made me totally deaf to my gut feelings. I was so busy trying to read the room and figure out what everyone else wanted that I totally forgot what I wanted. The High Priestess was my invitation to go inward and to listen to the quiet voice I had been ignoring for so long. She taught me to trust my gut, to listen to my internal yes and no before asking for anyone else's opinion. She was my permission slip to finally trust myself. Now, this journey isn't just my story, it's a part that you can walk to. Tarot can be an amazing tool for your own self-discovery. And I want to share a simple spread you can use right now to untangle your own people-pleasing habits. You can use tarot cards, oracle cards, or even just journal on these prompts. So grab your deck, take a deep breath and find a quiet spot. When you're ready, shuffle your cards and pull one for each of these 5 questions. Card 1. Where does my need to please others come from? This card helps you look at the root of the pattern, maybe pointing to something from your past or a belief you've held for a long time. Card 2. Why is it so hard for me to say no? This card gets into the specific fear or block that makes setting boundaries feel so tough. Card 3. How is people-pleasing hurting me? This card is for some real talk. It will show you the true cost of abandoning yourself, whether it's burnout, resentment, or losing your sense of self. Card 4. How can I better handle it when people are disappointed in me? This card gives you a little guidance for building the resilience to stand your ground, even when it makes someone else unhappy. And card 5. How can I focus more on my needs? This is your action step. This card can show you a way forward, an archetype you channel, or a new habit to start building to honor the real you. Look at the cards and think about the meanings, but most importantly, listen to what they bring up inside of you. The answers are already in there. The cards are just a key to unlocking them. The journey from being a chronic people pleaser to being your authentic self isn't an overnight trip. It's a practice of coming back to yourself over and over again. For me, tarot was one anchor that kept me grounded in that process. It helped me see the shadow patterns of the martyr and the fixer, not with shame, but with compassion. And it introduced me to the empowering archetypes of the Emperor, Strength, and the High Priestess, who taught me what it really means to have boundaries, courage, and intuition. Breaking free isn't about becoming selfish, it's about becoming self-full. It's about learning to fill your own cup so that anything you give to others comes from a place of overflow, not from a place of being empty. Your worth isn't up for debate, it's just there. And the path back to knowing that is the most important journey you'll ever take. If this story helped you, please like this video so it can find others who might need to hear this message. And don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into shadow work, tarot archetypes, and self-discovery. Thank you for being here with me today. Remember, your authenticity is your greatest power.